Hey everyone, Russell Brand, the comedian who I am starting to think is anything but, had a spirited conversation with journalist Jerry Paxman where Brand advocated to those who don't vote to get involved in changing the world in some other way other than politics. I almost entirely agree with Russell's points, save for one. Voting is important, and if you've never voted, you don't know the feeling that comes with going to the polling place, picking your candidate of choice, and then seeing that person win. And here I mean now U.S. President Barack Obama, who I voted for twice. And not only that, I have voted every time I've been able to since 18. And I advocate voting because, look, for a number of years, decades, centuries, African Americans were blocked from voting. And so now we have the right to vote. We've enjoyed it for really a scant few years in this history of the United States. And here we come with Russell Brand saying, oh, don't vote? Absolutely not. The problem with not voting is that you leave the power to vote and to select leaders into a scant handful of people. And they make the rules. That's the place we're in right now. So here's another point, that if you get involved in making rules of any kind, you become a politician. Russell Brand, in a sense, is making a rule. Like it or not, he becomes a politician. He makes a statement, he asks us to endorse it, he argues for it, and then he advocates change to achieve the objectives he sets out as being desirable. And I agree with those objectives, but I don't agree with how he wants to get there. We do have an incredible worldwide poverty problem. We have incredible worldwide income imbalance problem, and it increases and becomes exacerbated with each and every country that becomes a market economy and adopts the same pattern of goods buying and selling that the United States has. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it has to have an overlay of a socialist system of a type that makes sure that we have less income disparity than we currently have. Otherwise, we're going to have what we're starting to have now, which are higher crime rates in terms of robberies, larger and greater rates of domestic violence, and of course mass shootings. That comes from a tight financial environment, and we've got to get that under control. So Russell Brand is right, but how he wants to achieve his objectives is wrong. You've got to vote. For example, you've got to vote so that the United States returns to a Democratic House majority. We don't have that now. And the Republicans that have been in charge of the House have advocated a type of austerity policy that has left us with attacks on poverty programs, attacks on spending even for disaster relief, attacks on programs that help the poor. The kind of programs that I'm sure Russell Brand would say we need. But the bottom line is Russell's right. But in advocating for change, he also becomes what he says he doesn't like, a politician.